college in what is a college with a rich and vibrant history. This is our 40th year in operation, and it's a worthwhile anniversary to celebrate. But we're also opening the new college building, and the Minister will unveil a plaque in the
Can I begin by welcoming everybody here tonight, particularly the Minister and the Chair of City Dublin VEC, Kevin Humphreys, and the former Chair of City Dublin VEC and the current Chair of the Board of Management of Whitehall, Paddy Donegan. Our job is to serve not just the city but also the country, and particularly this North Dublin area. And Whitehall is superbly placed to do that. We had, and I'm delighted to see Ethna Killeen here, and I'm not going to say how long she's a member of the Board of Management either, because she'd kill me. But there was one night when we had a Board of Management meeting here, and I took her into a room before we went in to tell her that the building, there was a difficulty with the building and that we'd have to move out. And she said, "Oh, that could be a problem." Which, to put it at its mildest, was an understatement. And Breed O'Brien, who was the principal at the time, and I think was just in place for a year, suddenly found herself a logistics expert. Opened the curtain and there's a plaque, and I wanted to use that as an example. I know Mary Kinsella went home today and made the curtain.
You who teach here, you who teach in the system, you who govern the system, you who are principals and assistant principals, and others. I always say it doesn't matter whether you're the person who opens the door first thing in the morning, or whether you're the person who are principal over the door. You have a great contribution to make, and you're enabled to make that.
Those allegiance, but the allegiance grows to the VEC from the likes of Paddy and Liam and Jacinta, and the staff and the teachers right across the VEC. It's that dedication to kind of, and it is hard work on many occasions, but I hope it's enjoyable work as well. But you see the outcomes. You know, you come along today to a new school, and it's not very often you see a new college open like Whitehall opening today, and it's a great event for a brand new building, and it's great to work in a brand new building. The Minister said it. You can have great buildings, but if you haven't got great staff to go along with it, you've nothing. And we've got great staff in the VEC, and I'd like to pay tribute today to the staff, to the work they've done and the commitment.
I want to say a few words too. I just want to say one thing to the Minister. He may not be aware of it, but at our last meeting, Anne told us that of the 500 places that we had in this college, there were more than 2,000 applications for those 500 places. And the same applies to all of our FE colleges throughout the entire city, and I see some of the principals here. And it's just a pity that we can't put more money into further education, and if we can at all, I think it would be money well spent. Thank you.
I'm delighted to have been asked by Annette Flynn now to come here today to represent the 70s. I can't believe I'm the oldie here. And I was really interested to hear the speeches because in many ways they kind of represent my life. I'm an inner city girl, born raised in Clanbrassil Street, the tenements that were spoken about earlier. We moved to Coolock when I was 7, and Whitehall House for me has been part of what for me has been a very lucky educational experience. I know that not everybody has a lucky educational experience, but I did. I went to Holy Faith National School and Margaret Aylward, and came to Whitehall House to do my Leaving Cert in 1977. And my overall memory, when I was thinking about this week, is of coming into a school where you were treated like adults. That was my memory, that when we came here, I didn't know we were part of an experiment until this evening. Annette Madden, Nell Flynn, who was glamorous then as she is now, I can't believe it, still knows how to dress. We met on the corridor once in Whitehall House, and you came up to me, and I always remember it. You used to dress fantastically. You swished down the corridor, thin as a pencil, and you pushed a copy of Cosmopolitan into my hands, and you said to me, "There's a competition. There's a competition in this for writers, for journalism, and I think you can write, and I think that you should." I always remember that, and I didn't enter it because I didn't have anything to say. Actually, I realised later that's why I didn't. But that moment stayed with me, and it was the very first time somebody told me I could really do something. and I knew I wanted to write, and she said that I could. And Jo found me a course in a place in well, she sent me towards Rathmines, and I met Lelia Doolan, who is another wonderful woman, working at the DIT, with what became the DIT, and set up a groundbreaking course in the media. And I went on to do that. And I guess that my academic path then became the kind of the ground for my career, because I went into, first of all, pirate radio. I'm very proud that I began in pirate radio. Went into work in film and video production, and then within a couple of years, when I was 25, with a partner I still work with today, in 1987, I was 25, set up my own business, I say with pride, and then became very involved in strategic internal communication.
I came to Whitehall House in 1986, also from Margaret Aylward. I also feel we were very encouraged by our teachers, particularly in the areas where we were good at. For me, that was languages, and my teachers in languages were Marie-Therese Boissé and Moira Craven, and they really encouraged me to continue with my languages, because they knew that's where I was good at. And I'm still doing actually a German course in the Goethe Institute every week, still trying to learn it, but I'm getting there anyway. After Whitehall House, I went to DIT Kevin Street, where I actually did business with languages for 2 years. Again, very enjoyable. Then I went into the workforce. My first job was with the Ulster Bank in their international department. I stayed there for 4 years. Until I discovered there was an American bank actually set up a German office here in Dublin. I ended up being there for 10 years, and then I decided it was time for a change. And I actually made quite a big change. I ended up in a job in DCU, actually just down the road, which I know has connections with the college. I've been there for 6 years. I work in the registry, which is responsible for student administration, and we deal with the CAO, applications, registering students. We also, where I work now, is the student award area, where we deal with exams, setting the exam results. We currently are preparing for our November graduation, where over 2 days we'll graduate about 2,500 students. So it's a pretty large event, so we're busy doing that.
I came to Whitehall in '96, it was the time of ETOS, and unlike the other two speakers, I would have come with experience. I was a mature student. I'd been a single parent for many years. I had married, I had worked in youth reach, and at this point I had lost my job and been made redundant. And I was thinking, what do I do with the rest of my life? I was still quite young, even though I was mature, and I had a hell of a lot of experience, but no direction. And somebody said to me, why don't you try desktop publishing? And I thought, well, sure, why not? Computers are taking part of the age, they're moving ahead from everybody, and I need to catch up here. So I came along to Whitehall and took desktop publishing. Well, I did learn how to make a CV, I learned how to do a brochure and stuff like that, but I also did print journalism and media analysis. And it was Mary Macmillan who really inspired me in my time here, because she said to me, Laura, you know, you really want to do something with yourself, you really want to go on to college. And I thought, but I'm too old, Mary, how could I do that? And she said, look, Laura, you're going to have to do it. Now, I did a lot of to Open University. I went on to work in Youth Reach with early school leavers. I went on to work in Oberstown, which was a detention centre at the time, but became a school for young men who had been involved with police and had criminal records and stuff like that. And nowadays I find myself working with children in care, particularly teenagers who are moving on from the care system. So social care has always been a big thing of mine, and I think it was one of the things that Mary had said to me, Laura, you're a great writer, you should go on and do college, but whatever you do, don't go into journalism because you're far too moral. So somewhere that must have worked out, because I ended up in the social care system, and now happily I find myself back here today in Whitehall.
As a student at Whitehall, in 2006-2007 I studied in childcare, and my memories of Whitehall are very happy ones. I think that I was very honoured to be called back, and combination of classwork and friendship and everything all rolled into one is what I think helped me move into childcare. I wasn't sure of what I wanted to do, but I knew childcare was going to be there, and then working in childcare is what I realised I wanted to do from this course. I'm still in childcare, and everything I learned here I'm still using. Still go back to my notes from Angela's class and Mary Kinsley's class. I still have all my notes. I took them out to do another course that I did in child psychology. I've qualified with my level 6, and just thank you very much for inviting me back and for giving me what I've learned, and I still use it. Thank you very much.
I don't know who I am, honestly. I come in here feeling something about myself and going out now saying, who the name of hell is that? I can tell you this much. I was in the BEC as a labour of love. I never thought I was doing anything extraordinary. Well, on that journey of the BEC, I met extraordinary people. I met lovely people. And if I have done anything, well, I've forgotten about it. But thank you for remembering, and thank you for this presentation. And I wish you all well. And Whitehall House will always be in my thoughts, always in my thoughts. And it's glad to see so much of you looking well and doing well. I hope you do as well as I did. We're talking about bad times. I was born in 1921, and I saw the 20s and the 30s. And if you know about bad times, they were bad then. Today we're in an extraordinary situation. Nothing compared to what those days were. The poor of Dublin and the tenements and that. And they have moved on. And the Irish people are great, and they will move on again. And the only thing is to have confidence. Confidence in yourself and confidence in the ability of other people to get on with the job and do a good job. Thank you very much. And look, I have to leave at 7:30. I'm chairman of a local community board, and 2 members are leaving, and I have to go and make a presentation to them. At 1:15. It's the P45.